Hello, everyone. Welcome to AgFlow first webinar of this year, 2023. Happy New Year to everyone. Today at AgFlow, I'm Mariam, and we will be presenting you a little bit briefing about what happened last year and what we should expect in 2023. So as you know, last year, Russia invaded Ukraine in late February, which led to many problems in the supply of grains. Russia and Ukraine are major producers of grains, and when the war started, not only both limited their exports, but many countries over the world, especially vulnerable ones, limited their exports or banned completely. This didn't only create a problem on the supply part, but also for the fertilizers production. Europe natural gas prices caused the suspension of almost 70% of ammonia production. And this is due to high prices because Russia is supplier for Europe with gas. However, with the sanctions applied, not only Europe doesn't import directly from Russia, there are other countries that buy from Russia and then sell for high prices, which created this problem. Also, so far, there are 7 Ukrainian ports that are remain blocked by Russia. The Black Sea Corridor deal was extended last year in November and for 4 months. So beginning March, we will see what happens if Russia will agree again to extend the deal or not. Also, there are news that insurance in the international group of P&I clubs have announced their 2023 policies to exclude claims related to Russia's war in Ukraine. So the problem here is that even if there is supply and available grains, many buyers will slow back and choose to buy another corn, for example, that is more expensive because there is no insurance that they will receive their commodity or in case there is a problem. However, there are organized efforts to help Ukrainian farmers export food through rail and road networks, also through the Danube River. So let's stop here and see a little bit what happened for the Ukrainian production. I will share So Ukraine is an important exporter of corn, and here we have, for example, since the renewal of the agreement to export again, we have that the exports increased again. However, we can see that in November we saw that there was less, really like almost half compared to the previous year was down. So now we will see maybe in March that the exports will also decrease again, and we will see if Russia will accept to renew the agreement. However, I think that the shortage of the Ukrainian grains will continue in 2023, but Russia will most probably renew the trade deal because there is a lot of pressure also from other organizations that want this to continue. But the problem is that importers will mostly stand back and choose other suppliers because there are not many insurance for the commodities. So the second part, we would like to talk a little bit about the weather because now with all the droughts in Latin America and in the United States as well, we all talk about La Nina, etc. So we want to see what we should think of in this year. Brazil and Argentina and also the United States, they were affected by droughts. From the National Oceanic and Atmosphere Administration, they expect the La Nina to continue into winter with equal chances of La Nina. The El Nino Southern Oscillation is neutral during January to March 2023. In February, April, there will be a 71% chance of, again, El Nino Southern Oscillation neutral, and neutral conditions are likely to occur throughout the summer with a high potential for a transition into El Nino conditions by late summer, which is seen as positive in Latin America, for Brazil and Argentina maybe. However, we also have to mention that in Australia, La Nina event is expected to result in favorable growing conditions for summer crop and pasture production, especially in Queensland, because the rain that is limited at certain point is very beneficial for pasture production and consequently beef production especially. Also, there are people who say that the warming in Europe as well is positive because this year the gas prices are going down, especially since there is a limited supply, which is seen as positive. So particularly Europe doesn't need that much gas as it was expected before. Let's have a look at. Okay. Let's have a look at Brazil, Argentina, and the United States prices for corn and soybeans. So, okay. So here we have Argentina and Brazil soybean production, soybean export, sorry. So Brazil is so far doing very well with exporting more soybeans, while Argentina is still struggling. Brazil increased its production really high, and we will see a little bit the estimation of the National Supply Company of Brazil. I will share. So this is the estimation for Brazilian soybean production, and we can see that for the marketing year 22-23, production will go really high compared to the last marketing year. This is a little bit of the comparison of prices as I just mentioned. So here is corn prices from the United States, Brazil, and Argentina. We can see that in the beginning of this year, Brazil is showing cheaper prices for corn. Meanwhile, Argentina and the United States are still higher, much more higher. We can also change and compare for soybean. Okay. So these are soybean prices. Again, Brazil is really selling for cheaper prices compared to Argentina and the United States. We can see also, however, Brazilian prices went high, are expected to go high because maybe because of the news of today. And and here we would like to show some of the Twitter news. We have Scott Duncan, who said that we just observed the warmest January day on record for many countries in Europe, which is also related to the gas price going down. Here we have this video on the left. It's really interesting, and it explains how Europe took advantage of the warm weather to reduce the gas problem as the prices are really went down. Also, in the second Twitter, it says the same thing about gas prices. Here again, for the soybean problem in Argentina, soybean should be lower than 10 million metric tons due to the weather conditions. Dry weather is persistent without good prospects. So there is a huge problem for Argentina soybean production. Meanwhile, Brazil is taking advantage as they increased really harvested area, the planted area, and they are exporting a lot more. On another hand, there are news that China and Australia are now making it up for again come back to selling exporting from Australia to China. And there is one of China's biggest coal importers struck a deal of for Australian cargoes, and others are already in talk for purchases as curbs on imports from producers are eased. So we will see more exports toward China. And finally, as there was a problem in the Suez Canal, the authority said that a cargo ship carrying corn went aground early Monday. However, now it refloated and canal traffic was restored. So thank you everyone. If you are interested, please subscribe to our channel. You can also follow us on Twitter. And if you have any questions, please write to my colleague Erwin. You have his number and his email as well. Thank you and bye bye.